Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're focusing on something lots of us think about, especially with aches and stiffness: natural joint and muscle health products.
The ones that actually work.
Exactly. We've gathered some info to really explore a Canadian option called SierraSil.
Right.
Our goal, really, is to figure out what makes this one different because, wow, there are a lot of choices out there.
Oh, absolutely. A very relevant topic. Anyone who's even glanced at a supplement aisle knows what you mean. It's overwhelming.
Totally.
You've got stuff from shellfish, poultry byproducts, herbs galore, fish sources, animal sources.
Minerals too, right?
Minerals, yeah. So finding something that works and fits your diet, maybe you're vegan or have allergies, that's a real task.
It really is. And that's where we're digging in today. One of the first things about SierraSil that caught our eye was this big focus on research. Because, let's be honest, the science behind natural products can be, well, a bit varied.
That's putting it mildly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's, one thing to say something might help, it's another to have solid proof.
Right.
And what seems interesting here is SierraSil really highlighting its Canadian research. They talk about it being gold standard.
Okay, gold standard. What does that actually mean in practice?
Well, we're talking multiple studies, proper rigorous ones, double-blind, placebo-controlled.
With a crossover design, too, I saw. Conducted in Ontario and BC.
Exactly. That combination is pretty much the benchmark for high-quality clinical evidence.
Okay, let's just quickly unpack those terms for everyone. Double-blind. That means neither the participants nor the researchers know who's getting the real supplement versus the placebo.
Correct. Until the very end. It's all about removing bias, conscious or unconscious. Hugely important.
Makes sense. And placebo-controlled. That's comparing it against a dummy pill, basically.
Precisely. To see if the effect is real or just, the power of suggestion. The placebo effect is a real thing.
And the crossover part, how does that work?
That's quite clever. It means each person in the study tries both the actual SierraSil and the placebo at different times.
Oh, I see.
So each person is their own baseline comparison. It makes the results even more reliable.
Gotcha. So it sounds like a really thorough way to test it. And what did all this rigorous work find?
Well, the pattern across these studies and some others looking specifically at the minerals seemed pretty consistent. Two main takeaways.
Okay.
First, safety. It appeared safe even when tested at doses higher than what they recommend you take daily.
That's reassuring.
And second, efficacy. It showed effectiveness at the standard recommended dose for helping with joint and muscle discomfort.
So safe, and it seems to work, according to these studies.
That consistent finding is what builds confidence, scientifically.
And it seems like doctors have noticed, too. Our info mentions leading specialists, rheumatologists, orthopedic surgeons, GPs becoming pretty confident in it based on this research.
Yeah, and that's quite an endorsement, isn't it? When medical professionals trust the science behind a natural product, that carries weight.
Definitely gives you more peace of mind if you're considering it.
For sure.
Now, there seems to be more to the SierraSil story than just the science, right? We also looked into the whole Canadian aspect. It's not just made in Canada stamped on the bottle. The commitment seems, well, deeper.
That's right. The products are made here, yes, in Health Canada registered and licensed facilities. That's important.
Okay.
But the company itself is actually Canadian owned and operated, born and bred here, so to speak.
And for a lot of people these days, supporting local Canadian businesses is a big deal.
It really is. And there was that anecdote about the founder, the principal owner.
Oh, yeah, the tax thing. Tell us about that.
Apparently, when they were setting up, their lawyer suggested registering offshore, standard advice sometimes to minimize taxes on international sales, potentially.
Right, happens all the time.
But the owner apparently said no, flat out refused, said something like, we're a Canadian company, our reputation matters, and that includes paying our taxes here when we're profitable.
Wow. Okay, that is telling.
It really is. It speaks volumes about their commitment to Canada beyond just manufacturing. It's about values.
Yeah, in an era where you hear so much about tax avoidance, taking a stand like that, it's quite something. Probably resonates with people who want to support ethical companies.
I think so. And that commitment extends to the research, too.
How so?
Well, they could probably do research cheaper elsewhere, right? Lots of companies do.
Yep.
But they've invested heavily in doing these major studies, the double-blind, placebo-controlled crossover ones right here in Canada, plus those safety studies at higher doses.
And didn't they do some work with UBC, something about bioaccessibility?
Yes. Pioneering bioaccessibility studies with UBC Food Sciences.
What does bioaccessibility mean exactly? Is it just about absorption?
It's kind of like the step before absorption. It's about whether your digestive system can actually release the minerals from the food or supplement matrix, making them available for the body to potentially absorb and use.
Ah, okay, so it's about how available the good stuff is.
Exactly. It shows they're looking really closely at how their product works, not just if it works. A deeper level of understanding.
That definitely suggests a thorough approach. And circling back to Made in Canada, that label means most of the value, the production cost, comes from Canada, right?
Correct. It's not just slapping it together here. It involves where the inputs come from, the manufacturing.
And for SierraSil, even the packaging is done here.
Right. So if supporting Canadian businesses, Canadian innovation, and companies that seem to walk the talk on ethics matters to you, well, SierraSil looks like it ticks those boxes based on what we found.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about joints and muscles, which is obviously the main focus for SierraSil.
That's what it's known for.
But our research turned up something else, kind of unexpected. Mild detoxification support, specifically with their joint Formula 14.
Yeah, that was an interesting find. Less talked about, perhaps. There was a clinical study done in North America.
A human study.
Yes, a human clinical trial. It found that the clay mineral complex in SierraSil led to a significant drop in the levels of certain heavy metals in the participants' bodies over time.
Heavy metals, like what?
Lead showed the biggest reduction, apparently.
Wow. How much of a reduction?
The data showed a 52% decrease in blood lead levels after 3 months.
52%? That's huge.
And it went up to over 60% reduction after 6 months. They saw drops in other heavy metals too, but lead was the most striking.
And this was in people taking the product, not just in a lab dish.
Correct. Real-world results in humans taking the supplement. And interestingly, some people in that study also reported, anecdotally, sleeping better and having more energy.
Huh. That's fascinating, especially when you think about all those detox products out there.
Right. So many with very little or no real evidence behind them.
But here you've got a product primarily for joint health.
That also has clinical data suggesting it helps the body reduce its load of heavy metals like lead.
It really does underscore the unique nature of this stuff. Naturally sourced mineral complex.
Extensively researched for its main job.
Canadian through and through, as we discussed.
And then this potential bonus benefit of mild detoxification, backed by actual human trial data.
So it's potentially helping with joint comfort and contributing to overall systemic health by gently helping with heavy metal reduction.
Seems that way. It adds another layer to think about.
It really does. It brings up that question for you, the listener. When you choose a natural product, are you just looking at the main advertised benefit?
Or do you also value these potential research-supported secondary benefits, like this detox aspect? Something to consider.
Okay, let's quickly sum up what we've dug into. SierraSil emerges as this Canadian-owned and operated company.
Big focus on research and quality.
Right, investing in that gold standard Canadian research, showing efficacy and safety for joint and muscle issues.
Plus, it fits various dietary needs, no animal, dairy, or fish products.
And then there's that surprising extra. The potential for mild detoxification support from joint Formula 14 with that clinical data on reducing heavy metals.
Yeah, that combination certainly makes it stand out in the crowded natural health space.
So here's the final thought we want to leave you with. Considering all this evidence, the solid joint health research, this intriguing detox data, the company's Canadian roots and ethical stance, what does that suggest about how you might choose natural health products going forward?
Does digging deeper, looking beyond the label claims at the quality of research, the company's values, does that become more critical in your decision-making?
Maybe it does. We hope this deep dive has given you some solid points to think about and a good starting place for your own research.